Getting into an aero position as a triathlete out on the bike is something that pretty much all of us want to do, because obviously there's a benefit on performance. Now, interestingly, even though if we test it in a lab, that position is physiologically more demanding, when we then get out into the real world with resistance in the air, we know that that little bit of extra demand physiologically is offset by the aerodynamic benefits of being in that more flexed position. So it gives us a net gain and enables us to be able to, for example, go at a specific speed without using as much energy compared to being more upright. Now, one challenge that we know so many triathletes come up against is when they start to get into that position, they can develop a lot of fatigue through their neck and through their shoulders. Sometimes that can develop into more shoulder and neck pain. But with your strength and conditioning, there's one really key cool thing that you can do to help limit that. And that's to do with how you're using the muscles in and around the shoulder blades. Now, to start with, when you're in that forward flexed position, typically you'll use the strength that you're naturally got within your body. Now, a lot of people in their shoulders are most dominant in their upper trapezius muscles. These essentially help shrug and elevate the shoulder blades. So when we're in that shrugged, flexed position, it makes sense for you to rely on those muscles a lot. And that's why they fatigue very quickly, and that's why it can be very tough. However, one of the biggest muscles in your shoulders, your latissimus dorsi, which helps downwardly rotate your shoulder blades here and here, if that can start to become more active because it's stronger, that can work in tandem with your upper trapezius muscles to allow you to be able to wedge yourself into that position, feel more stronger in it, but take the workload off those upper trapezius muscles. So consequently, they don't fatigue as quickly, but also as well, you'll feel much more solider and almost planted within that aero position. To put down a bit more power, feel a little bit more confident. But the other really cool thing with this is, as if you've been following our videos, the latissimus dorsi plays a big role, first of all, in stroke power and propulsion through the water. It's the most important muscle as we go through that pulling phase in the water. And it's also one of the muscles that is often not talked about much, but plays a big role in reducing lower back pain and lower back stiffness. So if we're improving the strength in this, it's not just going to help the one thing that we're talking about here, there's also going to be other positive effects. Now, exercises that typically use your latissimus dorsi are pulling exercises, particularly pulling exercises that occur more overhead, because that allows you to downwardly rotate your shoulder blade. Typically, people use exercises like chin-ups and lat pull-downs. But critically, and one of the challenges is this can be a very difficult muscle to recruit and engage when you're not used to using it. So it takes a real focus on using the correct technique to make sure that we are using those latissimus dorsi muscles, or as they're known shortly, the lats, to create that downward rotation movement, and not just relying on muscles that we're already relatively strong in. Now, we've got loads of other videos that we've put out on here which talk about some of those tips and cues, but the idea of this video is to show you that developing shoulder strength appropriately in an area that you're not probably as familiar with and probably feel a bit weak in can have a real positive impact on getting into that aero position, which will give you performance gains and also, again, just make you more durable, more confident in that position.